So we're officially back from our trip to OKC. Actually, I just went. I feel like I've been traveling nonstop, but we're trying to stick around here for the foreseeable future. But I'm gonna post a few clips of my time in OKC. I have a cute little garden tour of my mom's beautiful backyard. They've spent so much time and effort on that backyard. It's gorgeous, so I want to show you guys that. And then I also took some clips from the baby shower that I want to show you. Linda has a YouTube video up of the whole shower preparation, all of that. But I did also take some clips too. Also, have to do a shout out to OKC Thunder. We have been repping them all season. I'm so excited for the team and the city, and I just love those boys so much. Jamie is looking at me like he wants to show you the hydrangeas that are thriving and blooming. And it is so funny now looking back of how many tears were shed on the cutting back of the hydrangeas. But look at them now. So I think this type of hydrangeas are Annabelles, and they will bloom on new wood. So they often bounce back even after harsh winters or pruning mishaps, which is exactly what happened in my case. Morning. Do a little walkabout my mom's garden. Beautiful day. I just love this corner area with this water feature. Very, very zen. Over here, I love how they are starting to train the ivy to go up the walls. And I also love these statement container pieces, and then the filler spiller method that she's using coming out of those containers. I also like the use of ground coverage in between the rocks. And then there's also some depth with those boxwoods. My parents love to entertain, so I love how they have this huge table just in the center of everything. And then up here is a seating area and fire pit. We love coming up here and hanging out. Love it. And then over here, they have this huge side yard with grass. This is Penny Lane, their dog's domain. So she rules this area. And then coming over here is another little area. This is my mom's herb garden. She cooks a lot with all the herbs she grows. She has a ton of thyme, tomatoes, basil, and tarragon. Thyme, tomatoes. I just think it's really cool how she has this herb garden in like a raised rock bed. Everything seems to be thriving back here. There's Penny Lane. But yes, I feel like their backyard is just so inviting and peaceful. I just love what they did with it. They had this wood swing custom made, and I love how big it is. It's actually a funny story. They had ordered a swing online and installed it, and the first time they got on it, it completely collapsed and broke. And they both literally fell to the ground. So the only solution here was a custom built swing, but I love the wood. Linda and a few of my best friends hosted the most unbelievable, beautiful baby shower for me this past weekend. I mean, just look at this welcome entrance to the shower. Everything is thriving. We couldn't have asked for a more gorgeous day. So we really didn't have like a specific theme per se. It was more just like whimsical, botanical, flowers. I'm calling it locally grown because the food was all locally grown by the chef. And then, of course, everything else was basically locally grown by Linda from her garden. And these cookies were so gorgeous. I cannot believe these were handmade. There's a girl on Instagram called You've Met Your Batch. You should look her up. She's incredible. Of course, look at these little baby water napkins and then your little mimosa bar, a must. So all this food was so unbelievably good. It was all locally grown by this chef from her garden. And I just cannot believe how above and beyond she went with all of the little details. I just was so impressed. These little quiches were my favorite. It was all so delicious. And I just love the idea of having many finger foods to snack on and grab as you walk by. Again, all the elegant little details like this Dani sign, just so perfect. And this was one of my favorite parts. Look how adorable these little party favors are. Of course, locally grown in Linda's garden. And of course, the backyard was absolutely stunning. We took some really great pics back here. Just feeling so blessed to have such an incredible mother-in-law and friends to enjoy this phase of life. Okay, it's time to plant all my summer bulbs. I went to the Denver Botanical Garden sale, like I think it was late April or early May, and I got super excited. So I bought all of these summer bulbs that I want to show you here. And I never got around to actually planting them. I actually totally forgot I put them in a bag and put them in my office and completely forgot about them. You're supposed to plant them like end of May. Jamie's like, what? And now it's mid-June. But that's okay. We're going to do an experiment. And I'm going to plant these bulbs around the garden. And hopefully they'll be okay. They'll just bloom later. There's Goose saying hi. She got sprayed by the hose today by her dad. And she went completely crazy. So yeah, I'm going to show you where I'm going to plant them all and we'll see if they bloom. But tour of all of the summer bulbs that I got. I got some dahlias, which are pink and white. A bunch of gladioluses. We really like the purple color. And then a mix. Got some gladiolus mix from American Meadows. Some more dahlias. Lilium stargazer. So those must be lilies. And then ranunculuses. Got some of those. And then liatrices. These are pretty. They look like little butterfly stems. Okay, so I decided I'm going to do these in this pot because we're just going to see if these grow, and the carnival theme I feel like will look good in a pot. And then I'm going to do the gladiolus as purple and then this mix up front. And then I'm going to do the liatris and more gladioluses just spread out in the back garden. And I'm going to put the dahlias in the white above ground container.
So we've been debating about where these bulbs should go, and I just think that we need to fill in the blank space, and Taylor thought it should go over there, which I wholeheartedly disagree. And I think we need to fill in some of this blank space over here, possibly by this trellis on the left or right, or back by our little beehive. We're eventually going to put an evergreen tree here, but like I just think filling this space out is really necessary, so we'll see what happens.
Quick stop for
You should always do a goose spot.
Goose.
You should do a goose spot.
Jamie said I should do like a goose spotlight every video. So here's a goose spotlight. She wants to get her belly rubbed, and she's gonna get her belly rubbed. So this is our front. It's pretty grown out with all the perennials that have come in. I think we're gonna try to add some summer bulbs along the front here. Maybe cut some of this back just a little bit. And then over here where we added some shrubs, arborvitae and barberry, what do you think? Should we put some bulbs over here as well?
I would love that, but I think we need to just let these guys live.
Well, my creative director is saying that he thinks we need to let these guys live and get their roots established. So maybe we'll do a little bit. We'll see. Okay, so I'm going to plant these purple gladioluses just along this perimeter. And they say like just 4 inches deep and 6 inches apart. So hopefully these will bloom. The bulbs still look good, so we'll see. Okay, so we decided to plant a bunch of different gladioluses all throughout this bed. So hopefully they'll bloom late summer, but I feel like they'll be really cute. All right, y'all, this is literally like 2 weeks later since I planted them, and look at them sprouting up. And over here, they're also sprouting up. So I guess moral of the story is if you forget to plant your blooms, just plant them, see what happens. I'm sure they will still grow. Anyways, thanks so much for following along. Okay, so these gladioluses are already sprouting. So despite me planting all of these bulbs late in the season, they're already starting to sprout. You can see they are also sprouting over here where we planted them. So I'll give you an update in a couple weeks on where we're at.